Welcome to the Realty Rundown, the podcast that cuts through the noise of the real estate world. Your hosts, seasoned industry experts Nick and Nate, are here to guide you through the entire process. Each week, they're breaking down the latest market trends, decoding complex jargon, and sharing insider secrets you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're buying your first home, selling a property, or building an investment portfolio, we provide the clear, actionable advice you need to make your next move your best move.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Realty Rundown from the Nick Wyse team at RE/MAX Results. I am Nick Wyse. Join me again by my co-host, Nathan Schwartz.
That's right. Hello, hello.
Today, Nathan, we're going to break down a massive development coming out of the D.C. region. The House has officially passed. Our Congressman wrote this bill. Congressman Rudy Yakym has a NEPA transparency bill. It's passed and it's now headed to the Senate. And just for clarity, because everyone's probably like, oh, NEPA, we know exactly what that is. That is the National Environmental Policy Act, which is from 1969. Basically what it does is it establishes a national policy for environmental protections, regulating federal agencies to assess the environmental impacts of major actions, and then consider alternatives if necessary, make public decisions for the public, essentially.
That's right. This is one of those policy changes that sounds technical, but it could actually have a real impact on development, housing timelines, infrastructure, and economic growth right here in North Central Indiana. So I guess, Nick, I've got some questions, and hopefully you've got the answers for it.
I'm going to try.
All right. So I'll start off simple here. What is Congressman Yakym's NEPA transparency bill?
Yeah, so basically this is HR 573. All these things get assigned a bill. It is the Studying NEPA's Impact on Projects Act. That's the name of it. Basically what it does, it requires federal agencies to publish annual reports on environmental review timelines, the number of NEPA lawsuits that get filed, which is a huge thing and can hold things up, as we'll see, how long these environmental impact statements take. We've probably heard of those before. Hey, I want to do something maybe on my own land. Well, you got to get an environmental impact statement done. How much these things cost and what sectors they affect. So really, it's about transparency in that it's shining light on how long these NEPA reviews take, how much they slow down projects, and how legal challenges stack up. So right now, a lot of that info is scattered or hidden, and this is going to force the Council on Environmental Quality, which enforces NEPA, it's going to force them basically to publish this information more publicly and more quickly.
So why does Yakym and the House feel this bill is necessary?
Yeah, because you're not going to believe this, man. I mean, like I think I was telling Nate when we first started talking about this, it took almost 10 months just to get this bill, which was written, I believe, in February. Just took it that long just to get it, past the House. And like we said, now it's going to the Senate. So that just shows you how slow the wheels work.
Yeah.
These NEPA reviews, again, these are just reviews. They can take 5, 7, even longer, even more years before a project ever starts. So Congress, and I think businesses and people just like us who need housing, we're frustrated with these long delays. We're frustrated with lawsuits that can continuously be brought by attorneys who are basically just looking to get paid.
Yep.
What these things can do is basically halt infrastructure. These massive environmental impact statements and studies, these documents can be thousands of pages long. So this bill doesn't change NEPA. I know a lot of people are worried about that, like, oh no, we're not going to have environmental impact studies anymore. It most certainly does not change that. We want that. Nobody wants to, build a bridge over, a swamp with environmental, hazards that can be can come about by that. But this is more about exposing bottlenecks. Once those bottlenecks are visible, then lawmakers can target reform.
Yeah. So let's bring this home. How does this affect housing, especially here in Northern Indiana and the Michiana area?
Yeah, so the effect of this could be broad, really broad, but obviously we're a show about real estate and realty, so we want to know how this affects housing.
Yep.
And I do, Nate, it might surprise you, but I have an image actually that
Who would have known?
Show some EPA guys, and they're really checking out this house and how it's affecting things. So yeah, we've got that up on the screen for everybody now. But basically, a lot of local housing depends on infrastructure projects. Obviously, we need roads. We need bridges, we need sewer expansion, we need broadband internet, energy transmission. All of the stuff that makes housing possible can be delayed, slowed, or stalled completely by these NEPA regulations. So when we're talking about new subdivisions, multifamily projects, workforce housing near new industrial parks, just rural housing expansion as it is, which here in Elkhart County, that's huge. You talk about the city of Elkhart, it can't really grow in the city of Elkhart anymore, but they've got to grow outside of it, right? So when we were talking about like, hey, let's build a new subdivision, it can be tied up for years and years and years. And then of course, just the infrastructure itself to support that kind of growth. So utility upgrades, all those things, what we're looking to do is create more homes more quickly for more people. We know, as we've talked about in past episodes, here in Elkhart County alone, we're about 25,000 homes behind where we really should be for the number of people that would like to own a home here in Elkhart County. And obviously by not having enough homes for people, we all know buyers' demand versus supply creates price increases, which reduces affordability. So the faster we can get transparency, the more we can get accountability, the more pressure to streamline these reviews could directly speed up development timelines, which we desperately need.
Yeah, absolutely. So I take it that faster approvals could mean probably more inventory, more housing inventory. That's
the goal. And when I talked to Congressman Yakym about this, and we just met this last week, I had a chance to ask him some questions about that. He was excited about this and some other things, and we'll discuss them on future episodes. There are some other things coming through the pipeline too, but that is the number one goal, right? Increasing housing inventory, getting more houses out there, keeping, I know this sounds weird to say because we have a problem with affordability, but keeping things as affordable as possible right now, helping new construction, which can't keep up with demand already, basically anything that helps remove friction.
This kind of feels like, NEPA reviews take a little bit longer than the actual process of building a home, which is crazy.
Oh, yeah, definitely can take longer, far longer than that. I mean, we've basically seen subdivisions built, sold, and resold before federal agents, have wrapped up some other sections, like especially if a subdivision is trying to add on or something like that, it takes even longer.
That's crazy. They need one of those skip intro buttons like we have on Netflix.
Yeah, I'd just take like a 1.5 speed playback at this point. Like, let's just push that. That's how I listen to my podcast. I'm always like, nah, I don't have time for this hour-long podcast. Let me hear them talk like chipmunks.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
So some takeaways here. What should our listeners walk away with today?
Yeah, just the transparency. Transparency is the first step to efficiency. This bill is not going to change NEPA overnight, but it does force these agencies to show their work, just like you always had to do when you were doing schoolwork, right? Show your work. When these delays caused by them become public, then we can put pressure on them to fix these things much more quickly.
Yeah, and that can mean more housing capacity, faster infrastructure, better development planning, less guesswork for builders, and ultimately more options for buyers and sellers here at home.
And that's what it's all about, man. More options for our buyers and sellers of homes, more opportunities for our communities to grow. That's what this is going to do. So big kudos to Congressman Yakym. I think he knocked it out of the block on here. He got cross the aisle support, which means he had a Democrat, Jimmy Panetta out of California, actually came onto this bill and was a co-sponsor for it. That's huge. Anytime you can do that, obviously that helped it pass the House quickly, and hopefully it'll help it pass the Senate quickly now too, now that it's out of committee. So that's NEPA transparency on everybody's mind. I'm sure everybody woke up this morning.
Right.
What's going on with environmental policy? Now you know, as it relates to housing, at least, that's what we're looking for. Transparency bill has passed. Now it's going to go to the Senate. We'll try and get you an update when it passes the Senate. That's it for episode 47, guys. 47, Nate. How about
That's
that?
Right. That's
just
right.
shy of a year.
We're making it. We're making it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We've had so much fun doing it. I love doing it, Nate. I think you do too.
Yep, it's good stuff.
Yep. Bringing you guys the information, guys, because, hey, Nick knows. Get your wise replies. Nick and Nate knows.
That's
whatever
right.
the grammatical version of that is. We knows.
That's right. It works. We'll make it work.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
And that's a wrap on another episode. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had as much fun as we did. We love sharing real estate insights, but as you can see, we also love to have a good time. This energy and passion is what we bring to every client. Buying or selling a home is a huge deal, but it doesn't have to be stressful. With the right team, it can even be fun. Ready to make your move? Let's connect.